Hey everyone, this is Jagger here with Rusher's Toys, and today I'm going to do something a little different. We're going to change this up again. I was going through my stuff, and I wanted to do a re-review of the Dominion T-Rex, the Thrash and Devour. I believe that's what this one is. This is such, I don't know, there was something when I looked at it on the shelf, and I was like, there's just something with this paint job on this T-Rex that just makes this, in my opinion, Mattel's best paint job of the T-Rexes. I just think that this is like the coolest one. I don't know if you guys agree, and it looks like from some of the pictures, the Rebirth one is sort of similar with this paint style, having more of the detail. Like, I wish that they would do more of this, but I was looking at this, and one of the things is like this T-Rex here, I still think was actually one of the best ones that they've released, because like, you have this, you can hold it, and I know that you guys hear me say the gimmick. I'm not gonna lie, the gimmick is really cool. However, like, it keeps stomping its feet even though we're not even moving the feet. And I don't know if mine just might have a short in it. And I want to know if your guys's does that too. But, like, you hold it, grab your figure, I just think that this dinosaur overall is... This one, I think, was probably one of my top 3 from Dominion, the movie, and one of the top T-Rexes that they've ever released. And I mean, like, there's the scan if you need to scan that. But when I look at this figure, it overall had so much detail on it, like the scars, the wounds. And guys, I've seen Dominion enough to know, but why... If this is supposed to be the original T-Rex, why did they paint it this color though? Like, I'm not saying that, is this like supposed to be a different T-Rex though? Because I just think that this is such a cool figure. And I don't know if this was supposed to be their interpretation of the 93 T-Rex, from the movie, like, but, I don't know, or is this supposed to be a different T-Rex? But, like, you had that mouth feature, you had the figure that could fit in there. I think what could have made this thing over the top, though, is I wish that they would remake the real feel Tyrannosaurus Rex from the 93 Classic and put this paint job on it and do a gimmick like this, all with the real feel rubber. There's no reason that they can't do it, because I've shown you guys in our previous videos with the Thrasher T-Rex, they could do that gimmick. This is basically the Thrasher T-Rex, other than they added that, and I'm sure there's a way to do that, maybe with the rubber, maybe not, but even if you can't do that part, and you could do the Thrash, that would be really cool. But I was looking at this, and I just wanted to see, what your guys' thoughts are, if you still have the same feelings with your T-Rex from when it came out, because, like, I found our Thrash and Devour. Now, one of the things is guys, I gotta tell you, like, when we picked these up in the stores, these were on clearance a lot. And I know that there was a lot, like, I remember, I think our Target had them for like $5 just to get rid of them because they were broken. And they were broken through here. And I don't know, like, I know Mattel had to start somewhere, but I'm going to all loop it back into this, but, like they had this feature, and you look at that, and this one didn't even have as wide of a head as the Dominion one. And I think that this sculpt here reminds me so much of the Thrasher T-Rex. And I think it's such a cool feature. Now, I will tell you guys, these are the original batteries in here, and it's dead. It is dead. And, this figure, I'm not joking. Never been played with, never done anything but sat on a shelf, and it's dead. And you can see the detail in here. And I think when they started this, they used off of this mold to take to this. And I think what they did was improve it so much better. But, you know, I even think Mattel could even re-release this as a real feel rubber one, you know, and do like what we had with the Lost World line, you know, was Thrash and, you know, a Thrasher T-Rex, you know, just like that, you know. I thought this mold was so cool, and that's what made me think of the Thrasher and seeing that. But I look at and I see how much there was improvement and why I admire this one so much more, you know, because you see the detail. And I think the paint also helps this one stand out more. Do you guys agree? Do you think that the paint also helped make this dinosaur, like, stand out more? I gotta admit, one thing with this one was never on clearance like this one. I never saw this one on clearance because the T-Rex was always gone and it was about a $40 figure. And, you know, like, I'm just looking to see, you know, what we've got. And, you know, like I said, I think this figure here is truly such a unique piece. And this definitely is one to add to your collection. This one here, I know that these now are expensive and they need to be in the sealed box because, you know, I think a lot of these, if you pick them up at thrift stores or, you know, sometimes auctions, there's a good chance that the bearing broke inside, which, like I said, that seemed to be a reoccurring thing with the thrash and throw. But like this Thrash and Devour here, you know, the only complaint I have is like it keeps doing the stomping feature. But like I said, I want to know, guys, is there a short in mine? Like, does yours do the same thing? And I really want to know, seriously, you guys, like, what do you think? Do you think which one was the more dominant one? Like, could you see how Mattel was able to base this and take it to one step better with that? You know, would you guys buy this dinosaur again if they came out with it in a real feel, you know, for $40 and, you know, we're able to incorporate this paint detail as well as a little of these gimmick features, you know, like that. I mean, would you guys even do that? I know personally from a collector standpoint, I would. I know personally from a collector standpoint too, I know both of these dinosaurs, the bigger ones, are always going to hold some value, but I do know with the features and the issues with this, I know that my wife and I each have one of these sealed because, you know, we are big Jurassic Park fans and Jurassic World, but when these came out, the boxes were terrible. You know, the packaging didn't hold them in. And I mean, if you found them on the shelf, like I said, a lot of them were broken. So we were able to actually get to Target and get those when they just opened the case. So they still work. However, the batteries are already dead, even though, you know, they've just been sitting in boxes in storage, you know. But this one here, I don't know. There's just something with this T-Rex here that just screams like more complete, more detail, more everything, you know. I mean, like, you can see the scars here. It is a different head sculpt. There's 3 scratches here. There's only 2 here. You know, it doesn't have the scars here like this, but I just think that this dinosaur just has so much detail, this T-Rex. And I would love to see a remake of this in the real feel. I want to know what's your guys' thoughts. Do you agree? Not agree? What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it here. I want to know, you know, share your thoughts, comments. Do you guys think that it'd be really cool to see these in real feel, or just leave them as is and just scrap it and leave Mattel and let them do rebirth and keep putting out more plastic dinosaurs that seem to break with gimmicks? I don't know. I want to know your guys' thoughts and share that with me. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate all the comments, the thoughts, the feedback. It's all been great. But I want to make sure that you guys know, make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We love making these videos. I love going through my collection, going through everything, and hoping to get you guys engaged with that and hoping to bring attention that what dinosaurs are probably going to hold their value for your collection if you're just starting, or if not, which ones to maybe you know, avoid or get the batteries out of so they don't die. But I again just want to thank you guys watching this video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and keep watching our videos. We got more dropping. Thanks so much. Have a great day.